welcome to issue 206 of Critical Encounters, a podcast about Marvel Champions, the living card game by Fantasy Flight Games. Here, we take a good look at that most critical piece of the game, the encounter sets. We'll discuss those poorly understood characters, unfairly labeled villains, and their various plans to shape humanity and benefit the planet, as well as those so-called heroes intent on thwarting them. I'm one of your hosts, Steve, and joining me from the cold, frigid north is Mike. Hi, Mike.
Hello, it's good to be back. Temporarily, but it's good to be back.
Good to have you here tonight. It's always fun when you are able to make it back. But we're not alone, Mike. Oh no. Poor Daniel is with us as well. Hi, Daniel.
I'm delighted he's here.
You're delighted I'm here? Thanks, Mike. I'm delighted you're here. All right. 206, Steve.
206. Yeah, 206. This is our Supervillain Roundtable number 10, our 4-year anniversary show.
Oh my goodness. It's also like a month and a half after 200.
Yeah.
Like, we just keep moving. We don't stop.
We are a juggernaut.
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 Right.
We got our helmet on and we're just plowing forward. Yeah, 206. So this is the final issue for volume 4. The next one will be a volume 5. That means we've completed 4 whole years of the show.
Wow.
Whoa.
Wow.
Whoa
is right. Well, I guess people want to know, Daniel.
Yeah.
What is on your mind tonight?
Oh, Steve, it's almost what isn't on my mind tonight. I got a lot of things that I'm thinking about here in our 4-year anniversary. The first thing I'm thinking about is a patron named Will K. He's like helping us out. He's helping us out with the show. Thank you, Will K. You might not know this because you haven't been to the lair too much. I feel like I've seen you around at some of the office parties. But we got this inventory of experimental weapons, like dozens of experimental weapons. It's sort of sitting about, Will, maybe you tucked into that room. Anyway, most of them are kind of leaking battery acid or giving off some strange, I don't know, what do you guys want to call it? Like waves of unknown goodness or something? Yeah. Anyhow,
Yeah.
Will, we need that stuff cleaned up, then re-inventoried, and someone else to handle them. So thanks. That's your job, Will. So there you go.
Yeah, we're also out of gloves, suits.
Yeah. I mean, it's a bare hand kind of job.
We got a couple rolls of paper towels though he could use. So
yeah, that should last him for like 1 or 2 of the weapons.
Sure.
Yeah, but that's not all, Steve. There's more. There's
more than saying thank you to Will K.
Thanks, Will.
Than saying thank you to Will K.
Right.
But maybe that's equally important to our email that we got from Fortunato. Now, this is spelled 4770, which I love, but pronounced Fortunato. They were kind enough to say that for us. Anyway, here's the email. You ready? Mike, you ready for this?
I'm ready.
Greetings. I've been a listener of Critical Encounters since episode 1 and look forward to your classy show each week. Your villain deep dives, card
What
analysis, comedy are top notch. Speaking of looking forward, now that the X trilogy will soon be coming to a close, what villains would you like to see next? I personally am hoping to go dark with Lilith and Mephisto. If some heroes have to tag along with villains, I suppose I'd be okay with the likes of Ghost Rider, Blade, Moon Knight, Jack Russell, and Elsa Bloodstone. Thanks, and keep making my trash night fun. A couple things. Fortunato is the first person to say that they listen to us while bringing out garbage. Right? I feel like the trash night thing has come up a lot. And then I want to echo what you said, Mike. Like he said, classy show. So maybe he's confusing us with something else.
Yeah.
The other Marvel podcast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought our show stopped being classy once Mustafa left. So,
yeah, very true.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Hey, wait.
Yeah.
Speaking of Moose, I saw him tonight. Hung out and played a game.
Oh, nice. What'd you play?
Yeah. My youngest was at basketball practice, which was like at a school 14 feet from Moose's house, and we played the Art Project. You heard of that?
Nope.
It is a co-op game. ART is an acronym stands for Art Rescue Team. But yeah, it's a good like kind of resource management co-op puzzle. It's cool. It's cool. I recommend people look it up.
Nice.
Cool stuff.
No, we played with his kid Emre, and we won. But enough about me. What do you think about me? No, just kidding. Here, Fortunato. Let's answer this question.
Yeah, we've kind
The
of
X
answered
trilogy
this.
is coming to a close.
Yeah, we kind of answered this question a bunch, I think, on 200.
I think so.
But I didn't want to skip his email because it's a nice email. And I did like that. I think we've heard people say Fantastic Four, Galactus, the Defenders, Daredevil. He wants different stuff that I have not heard other people say. Ghost Rider, Blade, Moon Knight, like Elsa Bloodstone. Like, these are cool, different heroes. So it's really neat to see other fans out there with different people they want to play with. So that's pretty cool.
I really like his ideas. Like, I don't know who Lilith is in the comics. Like, obviously she's awesome in, biblical myth and stuff. And who's Elsa Bloodstone? I love anyone named Elsa. My daughter's Elsa. So who's that?
If you go on Disney Plus, this is my fullest extent of my experience with Elsa Bloodstone, and you watch their Werewolf by Night that came out 2 Halloweens ago, the main character is Elsa Bloodstone.
Yes. Oh, okay. Got it. Like the daughter of the guy who owned it or whatever.
Yeah, and I think Jack Russell is the werewolf guy that helps her. So, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
I am going to answer this question, though.
Go for
it. I haven't given this answer yet. I'm going to say, here's a villain I like to see, Purple Man.
Oh.
Why? Because then he could steal all your allies. And then good luck cycling Maria Hill 50 times a game now, Will.
You just say that because you play friendless decks.
Yeah, I totally do.
You just want to hurt us popular people. Yeah. So who's Lilith, Steve, in the comics? Do you know?
Yeah, I don't really know. I know that, like, with Mephisto and Lilith, there's a bunch of that kind of...
Like, that's sort of hell stuff, right?
Yeah, and I think that could be related to the character Magic, who's coming up. She has something to do with Limbo. So I'm not really too well versed in that. Maybe Agatha, that we've seen before, too, with the witches and stuff. So who knows?
Nice.
Yeah,
nice.
I'm going to have to do some research when it comes to that.
Okay. Woof. But yeah, the X trilogy is coming to a close. That's true. Thank you, Fortunato. Great question. Thank you for giving us some names that we hadn't thought about. And prompting Mike to actually answer this question that has been discussed before on the show a couple of times, just like, who do you want to see? But yeah, your names are great.
Of course.
Love it. Now, Moon Knight is in the game, right? He's an
objective ally.
He's an objective ally in a campaign, right?
Yeah, hero for hire out of the Taskmaster scenario out of Rise of Red Skull.
Okay, and is Blade one of those or no?
No, Blade is actually an ally.
Right.
Oh, right. Oh, he's pretty
good.
The
one that disappears. He only costs 1.
Right. If you don't pay a physical resource for him, he leaves play. So you got to feed his bloodlust, or else he leaves.
Well, that kind of is an interesting segue to a question down the road here today. So, Mike, I tell you what, though, I've got a lot on my mind, but I'm kind of exhausted talking about it. You must have something on your mind too tonight.
Yeah, I've been away so long, and I keep, yelling at my phone when I'm listening. No, your shows are great. Really, thank you to the minions for stepping up. It's been great listening to you. Great additions to the show. But I did want to comment because today or yesterday, you guys just released the Storm Nemesis episode, which is fantastic. I played a lot of Storm. And I'd like to quote Daniel here. He wanted to give Storm's obligation a D-. A D-. Good Lord. Okay, so I'm going to interject. We're going to go off on a tangent here because I want to...
Mike, can you... I'm asking for a friend. Can you remind our listeners why I said that?
Okay, so what it does is it forces you into alter ego and then says you can't change forms or adjust the weather until you exhaust to get rid of this claustrophobia.
Boo-hoo, D-.
Yeah. Okay. So here's the thing about Storm. 2 defense character. How do you turn someone into a defender? They have to have, first off, good defense, and second off, some way to ready. Because a hero that's never ready during the hero phase just doesn't do a lot. Well, her cloak does that. she's kind of a built-in defender. So it's actually pretty common for her to be exhausted when those encounter cards come up. And in solo, that card is freaking brutal.
Mm-hmm.
That is right up there with Drax's obligation for me, in that it just forces you into a place you don't want to be. And when you're trying to play against Magneto, oh my gosh, that is like instant game loss sometimes. So that was absolutely hell as an obligation for me. And in multiplayer, I wouldn't give it. Yes, it's easier to get rid of in multiplayer, but it's also kind of funny because you like to set up these things like, oh, I'm going to make the weather perfect, and then I'm going to make it really give everyone retaliation just for the enemy phase, and then I'll switch it later. And then this card prevents you from flipping it. So now, until it's your turn again, everyone else has to go when the minions and the villain have retaliate, which is really, really funny and makes me laugh. So, yeah, I think it deserves an A+.
All right,
Absolutely
well,
A+.
Mike, in my defense, 1, never play solo. Just have friends. 2, Mike, if my opinions were informed, I wouldn't be me.
Yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there as something. And also, okay, I will point out, you're like, oh my gosh, it's overpowered because it forces you in the form you want to be. Cyclops digs out his freaking special card.
Yeah,
Mike, it also gets a D- because if you recall in the Twitch stream of the campaign where I played Storm and basically carried the team for 5 episodes or whatever, I just didn't see it was a problem. So,
wow, I mean, you asked what was on my mind tonight.
No, I'm glad that you shared.
Yeah, no, just my thoughts.
Oh golly,
wow.
Steve,
Oh.
I feel like you've got something on your mind too. I bet Mike inspired you.
I do. Do you want me to do the listener question or my own little thing?
Yeah, why don't you say you have 2 things?
Okay. Actually, I have 2 things on my mind tonight. Both my brain cells have something to say.
They're all firing at once?
Yeah, both of them. Okay, so I'm going to start with a listener question that we got off our 200 survey, right? We asked on our 200 survey, we asked people, tell us something for what's on your mind tonight, and we got a bunch of them in, so we're going to start working on some of them. So this one is, unfortunately, I don't know the names of anybody because of the way the survey was set up. We didn't really get any names from people. Okay. So you know who you are out there that asked this question. So thanks for sending it in. Okay, so they say, if Nick Fury is Gandalf, okay, so you'd have to have played the other LCGs, right? Are there any other cards influenced by the other LCGs you think would work well in a game? In this game, example like the Hummer Horns, Necromancer's Reach, those types of cards, but obviously Marvel themed. Mm-hmm.
Sure.
So,
okay, so Nick, yeah, Gandalf was an expensive ally that popped in, did something amazing, then left. Hence the whole Nick Fury thing.
Right.
Yep.
So,
I think with Caleb as a designer, and in fact, all these, I feel like all the LCGs have like cards that you sort of seen them work that way before.
Yeah.
I would have appreciated if Steve, prepped us for this so we could go back through the card pool. We had just talked about one where you pay the guy to pay Blade to keep him around. There's a card in Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, the sellsword. Yeah,
the dwarf sellsword. Gandalf is also Domino. So, right?
Oh yeah, the Gandalf hero is like Domino.
No, the Gandalf hero is going to be like the new magic hero. Yes. You're playing with your card.
Well, who am I thinking of? Well, is that? Am I just thinking of something I remember reading on like an announcement?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
You're thinking of what you read. Magic plays with the top card of her deck
exposed. Top card of the deck that you can see open. Okay, yeah. So like, that card exists in Arkham too. Like, there's the Seeker guy, the old man who does that.
So what I would like to see, and like some people have already said, player side schemes. Well, we got those now, right? From Lord of the Rings. I'd love to see player cards with insight on them, sort of like the Lord of the Rings Doom.
Oh yeah, okay.
Oh, I like that a lot.
We have
a free event with it costs 1 insight per player or something
like that, right? Because we have encounter icons that are on player cards, specifically like Deadpool, right? but it might be really neat to have like a one-time threat cost or something else that costs you something beyond just resources. Right? It could be damage. It could be threat. It could cost you hand size.
Oh, I like that a lot.
Right? We have cards that, the villain attacks you and then you get to remove threat, or the villain schemes and you get to deal damage. So we have some of those, but I think insight per player would be pretty cool, or any of these other non-resource costs.
Mm-hmm. What's neat about that one is that they spawned a lot of hero turned villain eventually heroes, like Saruman, and even Smeagol got a card for a while. To show them, Wormtongue, like to show them in there, pretending to be the good guys, but they had a shtick that dealt with these. Well, it was the Doom mechanic then, but you can imagine some of these conflicted villains that could switch sides all the time, right? Like a Magneto who's kind of doing things. A Loki, right?
This could be my Loki.
Loki, especially. If he plays a card with insight, something happens.
Right.
Right. He's causing mischief. Yeah.
I could see Loki being the Grima Wormtongue of this game.
Yeah. Magneto's a good call too, right? Because he's fighting for mutant rights, but he doesn't care how he does it, so he's anti-hero, sort of. Punisher might be another good one, right? He doesn't.
There's another really, really good analogy, but I have to punt it to a later segment.
Oh, okay.
Now, I feel like we should return to this question a little more informed. Like, I'd like to go kind of combing through the card pool, because I know that there's, every time I play this game, I'll see a card and be like, oh, that's just like in Lord of the Rings. Because I feel like we could find a whole bunch of them.
Okay.
I mean, look at the cards that are named the same.
Yeah, there's quite a few of them. Sneak attack.
Right. Sneak attack.
Yeah.
And that does the same kind of thing. And but I do love that the questioner brought up Hummer horns as I just think that's great. Because necromancers, you don't ever see after the core box in one particular thing. And I just remember how horrifying that card was when I started playing that game. Like, when it first got released, I was like, oh no, Hummer horns. I can't stop it.
No,
for those who don't know what he's talking about, imagine there's a shadow shadow effect in Marvel Champions that says take 12. Yeah, boost effect. Imagine there's a boost effect that says take 15 damage.
That's it.
Or when this minion
and it has to be assigned to a hero. A hero takes 15 damage.
Yeah. When this minion activates against you, take 15 damage to your identity. Right?
But I just remember like that card back in the day. I was like, this doesn't even seem fair.
Yeah, that was funny. Necromancer's Reach, there's some similar ones. Like I'm thinking the Fernax set, because he's got all those cards that deal mass direct damage.
Is that the one that deals like a whole bunch of damage to people who are already exhausted?
It's just like the Fernax ones, you mean? Or
no, the Necromancer's Reach. I can't remember.
Does. Yeah, Reach does damage to exhausted characters in Lord of the Rings. Yeah.
Okay. But it's like 1 damage to each character. And so I'm thinking like the Fernax's Flame cards, they dealt 2 damage to everybody.
Right. Yeah. It's funny because whenever these questions get posed, and I've seen these types of things before, Arkham does not generally come up. I think maybe because it's
they're there mostly in the hero builds.
It's such a different style game is why.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure, but like working a hero is like pretty similar across all the games.
Mm-hmm.
I think
there's a lot of crossover with Lord of the Rings in Arkham and with Netrunner in Arkham. There's a lot of homages.
Yeah, maybe that's a better word. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But thank you, listener. Feel free to identify yourself when Mike tells you how to reach us, and we'll come back to this question. I think it would be a fun thing to talk about. But also, we're a Marvel podcast, and we spend too much time on LOTR. That can
turn people.
That can be less interesting to some folks who've never played that game. But Steve, that can't possibly be the only thing on your mind tonight.
Well, it's not. But I also would like to point out these notes were prepared days in advance, so you had time to do this if you just checked the notes ahead of time.
Now, I wasn't going to tell him that, but
why do you feel like Steve felt the need to say that?
I mean, I did my homework.
Yeah. Okay. Anyways,
you still didn't say any cards that were from LOTR. Oh my god, I'm so mad.
Didn't say I did a good job.
I'm so mad right now. I'm gonna. You
Yeah.
know what? I'm putting baby in the corner right now.
Oh, okay. The only other thing I wanted to mention was, and I kind of should have brought this up at the top. Volume 4, right, has just ended. Where did Volume 4 start? We started.
Are you quizzing us?
Yeah, that's
January 2023.
correct.
Nice, Mike.
We did start with. Well, we started with a rogue spoiler, Mystique. But we were doing symbiotic strength, and like Venom with the bell tower is where we were when we started Volume 4.
Huh.
Yeah.
Now, Steve, how are you breaking the volumes down? Are you just doing it year by year?
Yeah, we had asked folks
Basically?
what they thought. Should we do it by wave? Should we do it by year? We had started by year. A volume, was our anniversary of when the show started, and we're just going to keep that rolling. We did have a lucky year where it like coincided with the end of a wave because we sort of sandbagged a little bit and talked about a hero or two. But
Gotcha.
the waves can be such dramatically different lengths that a volume would be a little difficult. So we're just doing, it's like a season or, right? So we're just going to stop right here towards the tail end of January and start a new volume. So
That's great.
yeah.
That sounds chaotic and sure.
Yep.
Love it.
It's been 4 years of it now. Why mess with perfection? So.
Well, that's been a lot of monologuing, fellas.
Well, that
was a segue.
Oh, it is a segue.
But actually, that isn't the monologuing. Now's the monologuing.
Yeah, and you're going to catch me doing it. What's our primary segment, Daniel? This was your idea, Daniel. What are we doing now? What is our primary segment for this show?
I always thought it'd be fun if we listed our top 10. I'm sure I said top 10 at the beginning, and then
you
top
said
5.
3.
and ultimately, it is boiled down to top 3 unique minions in this game. Okay. All right. And so our overlord, Steve, was kind enough to finally grant us an episode here on this Villain Roundtable to talk about who we think are the 3. Do we say best? Do we say most powerful? Well, I kind of left that up to you all. I didn't choose the most powerful. I went more for nostalgia and unique and touchy-feely stuff for me, personally.
Okay, so I picked 3.5 categories, let's say. I picked...
Category? What do you mean by category?
So I picked Nemesis Minion is one of my categories.
Oh, I see. Okay,
so I broke it down by that. That way I could like narrow down my scope.
I see. Okay.
I did
not do that.
I picked a set of minions to look at, and then that was calling like my heavy hitters, like maybe just the toughest or the hardest.
Okay.
And then another one that I kind of went with it, like they have unique abilities or they have special actions, or I thought they were just had a fun twist to them. And then, or maybe not a fun twist, but a good game mechanic that was like changed the way you played against them or whatever. And then an honorable mention that I think are just kind of fun or silly category. So really I have 4 categories, but
that's great.
Yeah.
Oh, I love how we approach it all differently because I went went 1 for power, 1 for what the minion does, and then 1 for that 1 in a million chance to screw the heroes.
Oh God, that's awesome.
Okay.
That is so awesome. I chose 6, so I'll talk about 3. That's what we're doing. But here's the other thing I want to ask you all. I want you to think about this now, Steve and Mike. I also decided I have a favorite villain, or I'm sorry, group, a minion group, like a traded group.
Actually traded?
Yeah, I think so.
Space pirates?
And it's not. So that's another thing I want to say. I've spent months talking about certain minions that I like. I will not be talking about them tonight.
All right.
I went back to my history with the game and kind of minions that were unique and interesting to me in the time and the day.
All right. Well, why don't you, Daniel, kick us off? Give us one. Start in your.
All right, so
I'll
tell you my first one. Now, do we want to read stats and stuff of these guys and like?
Yeah, I think folks are going to want to know what the card does. So
okay, so here's what I'm going to say. Yeah. I'm gonna give you stats, and you're going to tell me who I'm thinking.
Oh,
ready?
okay.
Oh, okay.
Okay, it's Madame Hydra.
That is incorrect in this first one. I'm not saying it's incorrect on the second one.
Sorry, I was trying to do a pumpkin bombs thing again.
So now that Mike has pumpkin bombed my number one, I'm going to go to my number two, which is.
Oh, wait a minute. Now, hold on, wait. Mike. I have an errata.
What?
Mike, after going back and re-listening to 200, I realized that the card is called Pumpkin Bombs with an S, and Mike said Pumpkin Bomb.
Oh, can I get 400 points, please?
You did.
But that's because you only had 4 letters in your last one.
Doesn't matter. We all knew that the rules were what they were.
Yeah, the rules were.
Mike.
Yeah. Okay. Go on.
So, Mike, tell me, why is Madame Hydra on my list of top 3 unique minions in my life for this game? Because you're absolutely right. She's number 2.
Because you talk about her a lot. No,
well, there is that.
I mean, you did this story back before I was on the show. So to be honest, I don't even remember why, but something about her story captivated you. And also the fact that she's a 6 health 2/2 minion that can't take damage while the Legions of Hydra side scheme is in play.
That is absolutely right. And she was the one that got me thinking about like how, this game could expand its villain reach a little bit more than it did. I mean, yes, she was a great minion in the core set. But it took a long time for a female villain to show up, and I've always said like she would be a great one to run an encounter set around. So I remember being drawn to her almost immediately when this game came out and thinking like what she does and how she changes. Like at the time, of course, like lots of things changed the game, but she changed how heroes had to think about dealing with minions. And minions didn't usually stay around a long time, but she actually could. And I just thought, I thought she was really cool. And I felt for her instantly. And then, I did the show on her as I like her. So she's one of my 3. Nice. Good work, Mike.
Well, it's a good choice.
It's a good choice.
Well, thank you. But I'm clearly too obvious.
He was definitely in the running on there. So, but I figured Daniel would pick her, so I did not.
So let's go to you, Steve. Now, Mike, why don't you jump in and pumpkin bomb his choice?
Oh, he changes his mind a lot because he plays the game so much.
All right, well, I'll give you a clue. Then I'm going to go with one of my nemesis minions. Okay.
Okay.
Oh.
Okay. All right. Now, Steve, give us some stats.
Okay. So now you're making. I'm going to have to pick one of them because I have a board full of these here. I'm looking at. Now just pick one. Okay, stats. 2 scheme, 3 attack, 5 health.
Oh.
I'm not going to tell you the traits. Quick strike, toughness.
Oh.
3 boost icons. It is a nemesis. After this minion attacks and defeats a character, place 2 threat on the main scheme.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so familiar.
Oh, come on, Mike.
No, I don't have it.
I mean, that's clearly a nemesis there.
Assassin, Elite.
Is it Lady Deathstrike?
No, this isn't fair to Mike, because it's Belladonna, Gambit's nemesis minion.
Oh.
Oh. She is pretty cool. So what is it about her that you like?
I love the quick strike is great for nemesis. She comes right out, she hits, she's going to force you to defend, or she's going to kill somebody off, she's going to put that threat out there. I just think it's just a great interaction for nemesis that just shows up. Shadows of the Past comes out, you're already like, oh no, Shadows of the Past. And then here's somebody who's hitting you, possibly killing a minion off and adding threat, or forcing you to take damage. So, and then she's tough, so she sticks around for another swing, maybe. So.
Yeah. Now, Steve, you made a category of Nemesis minions. This is your favorite Nemesis minion.
Currently, right now. Now, the other two on my short
good.
list. My other two on my short list was Omega Red. Retaliate, does damage when he activates, right? He's steady, so he's kind of a bruiser with 8 health. And the other one is Avalanche, who's just like always been good, right?
Sure.
It's just like,
yeah.
Yeah.
So now, Steve, you thought about this on kind of a power level or like a game changing level. What was your mindset?
Just the nemesis that I thought, I just narrowed it down to, okay, I'm only going to pick from these nemesises, and I'm going to pick one I think is really fun, and I want to see come out more.
And she's great as a nemesis too, because she hoses everybody, right?
Yep.
So, yeah. All right.
Well, now I have to change the order around on mine because I want to continue this femme fatale theme here.
Do it.
Go for it.
I'm going to go with the theme is a minion that does something awesome.
Now, Can I clarify that, Mike? Do they do something awesome when they're defeated or just in general?
Yes.
All right.
It's not one I really glow about, but I have always enjoyed this minion.
Is it?
No, you haven't talked about her, you're saying?
I might have once or twice.
Is it Mystique?
Nope.
No, I don't think we're going to bring up Mystique tonight.
I mean, Mystique's good. She's
great, but we talked about her so much that she's the one I was talking about. Like I brought her up 1,000 times. Her and Anne Bonny.
All right. Okay.
It's not gonna. No, I got an answer. I got it.
You got it?
I think I know who you're talking about.
It's Beetle.
It's not Beetle.
Okay. It's not Beetle. It's Amelia Vogt.
No, it is not. It is Madame Mask.
That's
okay.
One scheme, 2 attack, 4 hit points, nothing to write home about. But when revealed, resolve the Hood's foul play ability.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
When defeated, resolve the Hood's foul play ability. It has guards. You have to defeat her.
Yep.
That's pretty brilliant.
Yep.
It is. So read that as when revealed, draw an encounter card. When defeated, draw an encounter card, because that's how the game works.
Right?
Yep.
No, she's great. She's a fantastic minion. She does 3 things. When she comes out, doesn't matter what form you're in, you have to defeat her. And when you defeat her, something bad happens. So absolutely top tier.
Yeah, definitely.
That's great. That's great.
Okay, Daniel. So that's one for each of us.
Round 2.
Round 2.
Yeah.
So my next one is a very early unique minion that it wasn't part of the core set, but it was early on, and I thought this is such a fun thing because it was different from what the game had been before with minions. And this is part of a Nemesis set. That'll be my hint to you. And maybe I'll jog your memories by a hero action that is on this minion. Spend a nerd resource until the end of the
phase. Oh my gosh, it is Thomas Edison's robot.
It is, yes, it is Edison's giant robot, Mike. Yeah. Attack 2, scheme 1, health 8. So the health 8, that was kind of cool, right?
Yeah.
It was a good shtick.
But he can't take damage unless you spend a card. And so like in the early days, there were some heroes that didn't have nerd resources. I just thought it was really neat.
Yeah, and you couldn't just like ping it because you had to every bit of damage you had to spend a resource for. Yeah.
And so I thinking like the minions that I thought were really cool and I wanted tonight were ones that were like kind of the game in its infancy a little bit, but that showed like the promise of the design space. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like this card had a whole bunch of stuff on it that kind of talked about where this game could go. And if you remember back 4 years ago when Miss Marvel came out, and you saw this minion, you're like, what am I supposed to do with this?
Yeah.
Right? Like it really did kind of just give a trajectory of where we were headed with this game. I love it.
Yeah, it's a good pick.
So yeah, my picks are not power. They're
No,
kinda
that's a
history
fantastic pick.
and like that, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like design space. What about you, Steve? Number 2.
Okay,
Give us a hint.
so this is my heavy hitters category.
Oh, heavy hitters.
Heavy hitters. So this might be considered a power category, if you want to.
Mm-hmm.
So here's the runner.
Okay.
Here are the runner ups in this category. I put Mystique in here. The Sentinel Mark 8. Laufey. Those are my runners up.
Yeah, Laufey's pretty good.
Yeah.
Those are your runners up.
Those are my runners up.
Laufey
Yeah.
is
Yep.
all right.
Ooh.
Mike, who hits harder than Laufey?
I mean, is it going to be Mr. Hyde or Tombstone?
Both good picks. Not it though.
You know what?
Wow.
Yeah,
Steve,
I mean,
I'm going to go with Apocryphus.
Is it my pick? I wonder.
Apocryphus is a good one too, but I didn't pick him either.
Oh, geez.
I did look. It's funny. I looked at all. You're looking at all these, and it's hard to decide. It's hard to pick, and I just sort of went in the moment. In the moment, I'm like, this one.
It is.
It can't. It's not your pick, Mike. There's no way we pick the same one.
Okay, I don't know.
All right, 1 scheme, 3 attack, 7 health, brute, elite, villainous.
Oh.
This minion's attack gain overkill. 3 attack with villainous and overkill. 2 boost icons.
Now, villainous, that dates it a little bit, right? So it's not one of the early cards.
Yeah, it's not a core set.
Yeah, not corset, but soon afterwards.
So this guy's hitting for maybe like 5 with overkill. So you can't just chump block this. He's just gonna run.
Is that one of the Kree militants?
No. I mean, they maybe, but not this one. They're pretty heavy hitters too. This guy has been on our show twice.
Is it Ronan the Accuser? No. You wouldn't be so unkind as to bring him up.
No, this guy has come on the show twice personally. One time with us, and then for a reunion show.
Is it Bulldozer?
It is Bulldozer, yes. the Wrecking Crew minion version of Bulldozer, yes. So
yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, that whole Wrecking Crew set just has heavy hitting minions that are great. So
yeah, he is bonkers. Dang,
love it. Good pick.
Thanks.
All right, how about you, Mike?
Okay, this is also in my heavy hitter, one for power, and I had to think about this one because there's some really big heavy hitters that you can just take out. There are these heavy hitters that you can just switch to alter ego, like Ronin, not the villain, but the print and play pack. He can't be stunned, but there's nothing saying that he can't be confused, right?
Right.
Sure. Yeah.
So I decided to go for the one that was going to get you no matter what, and I went now. This is a callback to our anonymous listeners' question. This is the Mumok of Marvel Champions.
Oh, wait.
Nimrod.
Yeah, okay. Can only take 3 damage a round, or
can only take 3 damage each phase. He has 2 scheme, 3 attack, 9 hit points. Unless you're playing protection and damaging him in his phase, it's 3 damage a round. He has stalwart.
Yeah.
So he is hitting you, or he is scheming every turn until you defeat him. He's got victory 1, but whatever. He's done his job.
Yep.
And fantastic.
Wow.
Character.
Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. Wow.
Yeah, can't argue with him. I was looking at him too. It's funny you said the Mumok. Yeah.
It is the Mumok.
I'm looking at him. Oh, this is just like the Mumok.
Wow. All right. Great pick, Mike. Great pick for the power category for sure.
All right, final round.
So I chose my last one for, touchy-feely podcast related reasons. My next favorite unique minion is the White Queen.
Oh,
okay. You know what? Good pick.
Yep.
Good pick.
Yep.
Because this card shows how language matters.
Someday we'll teach you how language works, Daniel. Okay.
Mm.
No, she was definitely.
You're not teaching me how language works. You're teaching me how esoteric game mechanic things might work.
Correct. Yeah.
Which has nothing to do with actual language, Steve. Sorry. No, but then I also I was looking at her again and realized I kind of like her.
She's good.
Oh,
I
yeah.
mean, she's good for the villains. Yeah.
She's great.
She's a quality minion. Yeah.
Yeah.
All jokes aside, yeah, she's a quality.
And I'm kind of bummed she's like a nemesis minion. So you can but
Right.
of course you can see her as often as you want. But
Yep.
Yeah, she's great. But I really did, I chose it for podcast reasons.
Yeah, that's good.
All right, Steve, what's your third category?
This is like specialty quirky actions.
Specialty.
So they're not
actions.
necessarily. They don't necessarily have a lot of hit points. They're not doing anything crazy, like damage wise and stuff. So, for example, one of them in the category, not my top pick here, is Dreadpool. Right? He basically can't die. Right? You kill him, he flips over, he comes back out. You kill him, he flips over, he comes back out. Another one in this.
Well, that's quirky.
Yeah, that's quirky. Another one in this category is Crossfire from Crossfire's Crew. It's quick strike, but he attacks the friendly character with the fewest remaining hit points with ranged and overkill. So like he might.
I like that.
Yeah, he just comes out and he snipes somebody. Right, it's real themey and everything like that. So, so my last one, the one I'm going to go with, I guess.
What's his thing?
Her thing. When she comes out, she goes and gets a different card that really screws you up.
Oh, the Enchantress.
Yes, the Enchantress. So 2 scheme, 5 attack. When revealed, search the encounter deck and discard pile and set aside area for a copy of Seduced and attach it to your identity. And as a refresher, Seduced goes on you. You cannot make basic attacks or play attack events. It's an alter ego action. You have to spend an energy and a mental to get rid of it. So, like you were talking about with Storm, like wasting a turn or having to flip. And there's 2 Enchantresses, right? We've got her as a nemesis for Valkyrie to just obliterates Valkyrie when she comes out, and just anybody else to play it with this one. Just a lot of fun because it just messes you up. And then Enchantress is still out, right? She's scheming for 2 because you can't kill her off. You have to flip, so she's sitting there still. So I like her. I think she's fun.
No, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Nice. All right, the wild card. Not a powerful minion at all. Her text box might as well be blank for her small stats, except for this lovely one revealed effect. So let's imagine this scenario. You are you're Spider-Man, right?
Okay.
And you're wearing the Venom. I know. You're wearing the Venom suit. It's got like a chimichanga in it or something. And
wait, are we Miles Morales or Peter Parker?
Let's be Peter Parker because it's funnier. Okay, so you're Peter Parker with Miles Morales' sandwich in your suit, and you're going around, you're beating up minions, you're taking some damage, and you're fine on hit points. You got the freaking Venom suit, you're good. But you got to pay your rent, right? So you flipped alter ego, and you're safe. You're gonna get some soup and all that. And then you're dealt this encounter card that says, return the highest cost upgrade you control to its owner's hand.
Yeah.
Bye Venom suit, and you're dead.
You really chose Thumbelina?
I chose Thumbelina because that world exists.
Oh my god, that's so awesome.
Nice.
All right.
I purposely didn't pick minions we hadn't talked about on the show yet, but all of those cards were like looking at Thumbelina, Grey Crow, all those, you're like, oh, these are so cool. I can't wait till we talk about them in detail. Yeah.
Now, Steve, I'm glad you said that, because as I was, scrolling through the minions and thinking about every one of the minions that belonged to the Mutant Liberation Front was awesome and exactly what I think this game should be doing with minions.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait to talk about them.
Yes.
Agreed.
Yep.
And I only found Thumbelina because I was actually just scrolling through the list, Mike. It's not like I've actually seen the card or know what it is. I'm like, when revealed, look for when revealed. So, I think every one of those was so cool. And as I was going through these things, I'm like, who are these? Like, I don't remember seeing these. They're great.
Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah. We'll get there, folks. Yeah. But the Mutant Liberation Front. Remember that, everybody.
Yep.
Yep.
Cool stuff.
Well, I have one more category.
Yeah,
I got one more category.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
Okay, and these are just like these are my honorable mentions. I didn't know like what ones you were gonna pick, so I
did. Yeah. Okay. Go ahead.
Okay. So
I did some honorable mentions too.
All right. So the nostalgia way back throwback was the Hydra Soldier, who has guard, and the one defeated you get an encounter card.
Oh yeah,
I like it. We can agree he's not unique, perhaps.
Correct. These are non-unique minions. All three of them. Which is why they're in this other category.
I see.
The Gunslinger, who has quick strike, but you can outdraw him. Pew! Like some tumbleweed sound effects right there. Like the theme on him is just so much fun. Draw, and then
wow, wow, wow.
and then probably my favorite non-unique minion is just the common criminal, who you can like.
Oh yeah,
you can hit with a purse and knock him over and get a reward for.
Yep.
So yeah,
I like weapons runner for that.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, the common criminal gives you a reward if you stop them, right? You get a card draw or side scheme or something. So, and you can defeat them in alter ego, which is just so much fun. But they're not unique. But they were in my,
So my one honorable mention is for theme, and that is Mr. Hyde.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Love Mr. Hyde and Calvin Zabo. I just think that's great. How the designers dealt with that little duo is great.
Yeah, and no joke too, right? I mean,
no joke.
A brute of a minion. So yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Mike, do you have an honorable mention or anything else?
No. I just did the 3 as per the homework.
Wow.
I thought it was a top 5, but all right,
I thought it was top 6.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, that was fun. So.
Yeah,
it was good. It was good.
Happy 4th anniversary, guys!
Thank you.
Happy 4th anniversary.
Do we have a cake or anything?
It was my birthday this month.
There.
It was Mike's birthday. Happy birthday, Mike!
When was the blessed day, Mike?
Oh, it was like 3 weeks ago, but you know me.
he had like a month and a half last year, so he gets nothing this year.
Yeah,
so.
Nothing.
Yeah. Nothing. Yeah. Well, hey, we have volume 5 going to be coming out, next week.
So what are some highlights for volume 5, Steve?
Volume 5 is we're gonna continue to see what's on the Mojo television. We have a bunch of guests lined up. Hopefully we can get FFG to come back and talk.
Sure.
I'd love it if our listeners would suggest other content creators they would like us to invite on the show. That'd be fun to talk with them. We're going to end up finishing the Mutant Genesis campaign. We're going to finish Mojo Scenario Pack. And then, Next Evolution should begin in a couple months, sometime in March, maybe, if we're lucky.
Okay.
So, we're just going to keep on keeping on.
Love it. That's what this classy show is all about.
Right.
Nice.
Well, if that's it, gentlemen, I think it's Mike's turn here.
Yeah. First off, sorry, Will, for calling you out. Please continue playing your Maria Hale deck because I like drawing cards. Thank you so much. Everyone else, please email us your thoughts at criticallencounterspod@gmail.com. We're Critical Encounters on Facebook. And you can find our YouTube, Twitch, or Twitch. Yes, we have a Twitch channel and Patreon by searching for Critical Encounters Podcast. And on Discord, we are Vardane, Big Phone Loaf, and Wandering Took. If you like our show, tell your friends. If you don't like our show, tell your enemies. Bulldozer, take us out.
Nothing stands in the path of the Bulldozer. Welcome to issue 100. No, oops.
Now you get to be in the outro.
Okay.
$10 says that doesn't make it.
I'll put it in.